If you've ever been up on a ladder, a roof, or even just some scaffolding, you know that feeling, right? That little heart jump moment where things get a bit unstable? Well, for millions of workers, that's just another day at the office. But what does it really take to be safe when you're working at height? It's not just about clipping on a harness, it's about a whole way of thinking, and we're going to break it all down right now.
So let me just ask you this straight up. When you're working up high, what is the single best way to keep from falling? Is it the strongest rope, the most advanced harness, or is it something else entirely? The answer might not be what you think.
You see, the best answer isn't a piece of equipment at all. It's a powerful way to think about the problem. It's called the hierarchy of fall protection, and this image shows it perfectly. Safety isn't just some random checklist. It's a ranked system of defenses, and we're going to move from the absolute best, most foolproof methods all the way down to the last resort.
And here is the golden rule, the one thing you really got to get before we dive in. As we move down this hierarchy, the risk to the worker goes up. It's that simple. So the goal, always, is to stay as high up on this chart as you possibly can.
Okay, so let's start at the very top, the absolute gold standard. These are the best solutions for one simple reason. They basically engineer human error right out of the equation. They don't just ask people to be careful, they make the danger disappear.
So at the very, very top, the best solution possible is level 1, hazard elimination.
And what does that mean? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You design the works so there is literally zero chance of a fall in the first place. You know, instead of sending someone up a shaky ladder to change a light bulb, you give them an extension pole so they can do it from the safety of the ground. See? You haven't just managed the risk, you've made it impossible. Simple and completely foolproof.
But okay, what if you just can't eliminate the hazard? The next best thing is what we call level 2, passive protection.
The key word to focus on here is passive. This means the safety measure is just there. It's built right into the work environment. Think about a solid guardrail around the edge of a roof. A worker doesn't have to clip into anything, or wear any special gear, or remember some complicated procedure. The barrier itself is doing all the work, providing constant, effortless protection.
So you can already start to see the progression, right? We went from getting rid of the hazard completely to putting a solid barrier around it. Now, as we move into the next levels, watch how the responsibility starts to shift from the environment to the individual person.
And this is a really critical turning point in the hierarchy. We're now moving into the world of what everyone knows as PPE, or personal protective equipment. From here on out, safety isn't built in anymore. It relies on the gear a person wears, and, this is the important part, how they use it. The risk has just officially gone up.
Coming in at level 3 is a term you absolutely need to know: fall restraint.
Okay, the easiest way to think about a restraint system is to picture a dog on a leash. A worker is tied to a secure anchor point, but the lanyard is just short enough that it physically stops them from ever reaching the edge. The main point is simple. If you're using a restraint system correctly, a fall just isn't possible. But notice the new addition at the bottom. Training is now an absolute must.
Now we take another step down, and believe me, it is a giant leap in risk. This is level 4, fall arrest systems.
Pay really close attention to that word, arrest. With this kind of system, a worker can actually go over the edge. The whole point of the gear, the full-body harness, the shock-absorbing lanyard, is to stop the fall after it's already started. And you can see how much more dangerous this is just by looking at the requirements. You don't just need training, you are legally required to have a rescue plan in place. Because, stopping the fall is only half the problem.
Let's just put these two side by side because this is so important. Restraint prevents a fall. Arrest stops a fall that's already in progress. With restraints, you can't even get to the edge. With arrest, you absolutely can. It's the difference between being pulled back from a cliff's edge and being caught halfway down. The risk level is just worlds apart.
All right, we've now arrived at the very bottom of the hierarchy. This is the last resort, this is the highest risk category, and it should only, ever, be used when every single other option is impossible.
This final and least preferred level is called administrative controls.
So what does that really mean? It means there is no physical protection. No guardrails, no harnesses, no safety nets. All you have are procedures and awareness, things like a little warning tape line on a roof, or a designated safety monitor whose only job is to stand there and yell if someone gets too close to the edge. You are relying 100% on human attention to stop a tragedy.
And that's why the experts have this to say about it. Not recommended. Full stop. In fact, a lot of safety pros don't even consider this a real form of fall protection at all, because all it takes is 1 second of distraction, 1 moment of not paying attention for disaster to strike.
So, what is the big takeaway from all of this? It's actually really simple. Always think from the top down. Before anyone does anything, you have to ask, can we get rid of this risk completely? If the answer is no, you ask, can we put up a physical barrier? Only after you've tried those should you even think about personal gear. And you should always avoid relying on awareness alone.
Which kind of brings us right back to you. Whether you're actually on a job site, you're managing a team, or heck, even if you're just thinking about projects around your own house, look at this hierarchy again. Are you automatically reaching for a harness when you should be looking for a way to install a guardrail? In your world, are you truly starting at the top